Good afternoon slash evening or early morning, wherever you may be watching. I know we're normally night owls here, but today we're here in the daytime, and that's okay. Like, that means me and Jackson can get the extra Z's tonight. So it'll be good on both.
Fiestas.
Yes. But no matter if it's day, night, morning, evening, we're still here and we're going to bring you great content no matter what. And today on tap, we've got the 2025 Big Ten season predictions. Is this finally Penn State's year to win the Big Ten title? Ohio State's out to defend their national title. Will Michigan bounce back? Who will be the surprise teams of the conference? Is Michael Locksley? Is this his final year at Maryland? Is Greg Schiano close to retirement? Is Washington on a rebound year? How will Oregon do in year two in the conference? We're going to get to all that, and we're going to show you our previews and predictions, and we're going to talk it over, and we might even take your phone calls or towards the end. That's if you're nice. But if you're not nice, Jackson has the belt ready for you. But as always,
Like I did with a certain caller on the Alabama College show last night.
Exactly. But I'm Sports Talk with Austin, and I could not do this show, and I would not want to do this show with anybody else except my good pal, my good friend, Jackson Johnson of the Jacksonian. Jackson, how are you? It's Friday. We
Doing
made it.
great.
It's Friday. We made it to the end of the week, and we're 2 weeks away, Jackson, from the big week zero. But how you
Oh
feeling?
yeah. Oh, I'm excited. I mean, it's like it's just getting closer and closer. I'm just doing New Year's Eve countdowns every night before college football season start.
Yes, exactly. And the NFL starting around the corner too. If you're more of an NFL person, which that's okay too. I mean, so there we are. And Dave, thank you for being here as always, Dave. We appreciate you. Said, how's it going, guys? Ready for some Big Ten conference talk? Yes, Dave. Oh, I'm actually excited about this because the Big Ten's a very controversial conference, kind of like the SEC. There's more talking points to it. But I'm doing pretty good, Dave. What about you, Jackson? Are you looking forward to this?
Doing all right. I've been doing all right. I'm excited. I'm excited about the upcoming season.
I am too. I am too. And I'm looking forward to it. So, without further ado, let's get to our predictions to kick off the show. And these are my predictions. We're going to start with me again. So, I've got Penn State at number one at 11-1, going 8-1. And their only loss is Ohio State. And I know they play Oregon, right? But spoiler alert, it's a whiteout game. It's going to be on NBC. It's going to be night game that favors Penn State. And you look at their schedule, and I'm not even going to get Jackson started on the non-con because then he'll start cussing up a storm. But their non-con really isn't that challenging. Villanova, I, I, I don't want to get into that because then
Penn
Jackson.
State's non-con is pathetic, but that's another
yeah,
topic.
yeah. Let's not dive too deep in that because Jackson will throw a hissy fit. You will see Jackson throwing stuff on air. He gets upset
Mhm.
about that.
I
But
don't get that bad, but
it's all fun and games. But yeah, Penn State's non-con is terrible. Lord have mercy. But I have them at number one, and their only loss being to Ohio State. Number two, I have the Buckeyes at 10-2. I'm to losing two conference games. I have them losing to Michigan again this year, and I have them losing to a combination of one or two teams. I could see them losing to Washington, especially if it's at night. I could see them losing an odd game in there. I think with the new quarterback situation, and it's going to be really interesting for the Buckeyes this year. I'm looking forward to seeing what they do this year. I got Michigan at 9-3. I think they're due for a bounce back year. I really think that they bring in a nice class. Now, with all the NCAA stuff and that's going on, I do think Michigan, looking at their schedule, they didn't get it too bad. I mean, and their non-con, their biggest game's Oklahoma. I mean, New Mexico. I don't think New Mexico is going to give them much of a scare. I mean, this isn't the New Mexico with that we once knew. I got Oregon at 4 at 9-3. I think the Ducks take a bit of a step back, not much. They got a new quarterback as well. I got Illinois 5-8-4 and 5-3 in conference. I think they lose at Duke because Duke, I know they're a basketball school, but going at Duke's a hard place to play. And I can speak from experience saying this as a Louisville fan, and you can even ask Clemson fans about going to play at Duke. And shameless plug for my good buddy down here, but there's a certain Clemson fan, Tiger Paul Craven, that he had on for his Jacksonia show, that if you were to talk to him, he would tell you the exact same thing. Going to Duke is no joke, especially at night. But that's a shameless plug for Jackson's show, which
Thanks,
which is
man.
always great stuff. Make sure to check it out. Number 6, I got Washington 8-4. I expect a bit of a bounce back year from the Huskies. I know they're recuperating after going to the title game a couple years ago with Penix and company under DeBoer. One of their best years in probably history. They took a little bit of a step down. I think Jed Fish is too good of a coach to have another letdown year. I got Iowa going 8-4 again. I think Iowa's one of them consistently 7-8 win teams every year. They always find a way to win 8 games, 7-8 games. And Jackson, me and you were talking off air a couple days ago, but the Iowa Hawkeyes are just like the Pittsburgh Steelers. They always win games they shouldn't and lose games that they shouldn't. At
Oh
number
yeah.
8, I got USC at 7-5. I know USC fans may not like that very well, but I do think there is a bit of a learning curvature there. I do think USC though, if they go 7-5, could Lincoln Riley lose his job? It's debatable. We'll get into that. At number 9, I got Nebraska at 7-5. I mean, I'm not quite ready to crown Nebraska yet as a 9-10 win team. I still want to see a little bit more. I got Minnesota going 6-6 at number 10. I do think they're good enough to go bowling. Bowling once again. And Dave Valencia says Minnesota goes 6-6. They better have wins over either Wisconsin or Iowa. Yeah, Dave, I would agree with that. Which we'll kind of talk about and get in the weeds a little bit here, because we'll get to Jackson's and we'll kind of reassess. Number 11, I have Rutgers going 6-6. At number 12, I have Michigan State going 6-6. I got Maryland at 13 going 5-7. And this could be Mike Locksley's last year as the Terps head coach. I mean, if they go 5-7, which we could talk about that too. But Jackson, if Maryland misses a bowl, do you think Mike Locksley could keep his job another year?
Oh, he's fired. He's a dead man walking, especially with the new AD at hand.
So if they go 5-7, like I'm predicting, he's done.
Oh, he's a dead man. Yeah, he's out. But
Jackson,
I mean, he'll just go. He'll probably see if the podcasting game's working for him.
Oh, that's true. That's true.
Or see if he can get a job at Fox Sports 1.
Oh, that's true. That's true. But at number 14, I got Northwestern going 4-8 because someone's got to lose these games. For 15, I got Wisconsin at 4-8 because, as we all know, their schedule.
Damn, you're low on Wisconsin.
Huh?
Damn, you're low on Wisconsin.
Well, Jackson, I'm sorry. Listen, the more I look at them and more I do research on them, their schedule, Jackson, holy crap. Michigan, Iowa, Ohio State, Oregon, all in October. How are you supposed to survive that? Like, I gave them 4 wins. Like, I could have been really bad to them. But I was like, I'll see, they'll win. I was trying to be nice to Wisconsin. Like, I really was. Like, that
You can't let Fickle get fired.
I'm sorry, Jackson, but the 4-game stretch in October, that's brutal. Like Jackson, even you have to admit, like Iowa, I know we make fun of them and stuff, but that's always a physical game. Ohio State, Oregon, those are 2 of the elites in this conference. And then you've got Michigan, who's supposed to have one of the best quarterbacks in the conference, possibly in Bryce Underwood if he's everything he's supposed to, and another top 15 defense. I mean, Wisconsin's not going to make it out alive. I'm sorry. But if they do, I would be shocked. If they go 2-2 in that stretch, give Luke Fickle a raise. I'm sorry, but Day says I agree with Austin. I don't see them
Oh,
winning that games at all. They'll be lucky if they're 6-6. Yeah. So by the way, Jackson Rack, which we'll get to his here in just a second, he's a little higher on Wisconsin, I think. But at number 16, I got UCLA at 3-9. I'm a little lower on them too. I know they just brought in Nico and company, but I think it's going to take them another year or two to get it going once again. And they got a pretty tough end of the stretch of the season as well. The Big Ten didn't do them no favors either. And then of course number 17, Purdue. I mean, Purdue's a dung heap. Let's not kid ourselves. I'm sorry, Purdue's a dung heap. Dung heap.
well, Barry Odom could really turn things around in West Lafayette for the future.
I hope so. I like Barry Odom, but ever since Jeff Brown left, Purdue's been kind of in a dung heap. Go ahead, good buddy. Go ahead.
I think Odom can really turn things around at West Lafayette, just not this year. Wait, who's your 18th place team? Like, that's what I want to know. Who'd you leave out?
Who did I leave out? Ah, crap. I forgot Indiana. Whoops. My bad.
Oh, my God.
My bad. Well, I would have had Indiana at 7-5. I would have had them in this range. I'll fix that in a minute while Jackson talks about his. My bad. My bad. Sorry. If Indiana fans are watching, my bad. I didn't do that to you on purpose. I'll fix it. But in my Big Ten title game, I have Ohio State over Penn State for the Big Ten championship. Jackson, walk us through your rankings, good buddy. Walk us through it. The floor is yours.
I feel like the Buckeyes finally get revenge against Michigan because, I mean, they've been hearing about 4 years. I think this year they could really pull it off. I mean, Jeremiah Smith's getting them motivated. I think everything's going to get rocking and rolling. I mean, Ohio State, Michigan is basically going to be playing for a spot in the Big Ten title. But either way, both those teams, they're in the Big Ten title. Well, they're in the playoffs representing the Big Ten. So that's what's going to happen. Michigan has a very easy schedule this year. Well, conference play anyway. I mean, it's like, I don't really know what to make of USC, but I don't like it. I don't like where USC's going. I mean, Michigan State, this is not Mark D'Antonio, Michigan State. But, I mean, like, Jonathan Smith's going to get them going. I think Smith's getting them to a ball game, but that's it. But we see that Oregon, I've got them losing to Penn State in week 5. Penn State, I think, goes down against Iowa.
Okay.
Because I feel Connect Stadium's going to have that magic. But
I
then
got you.
They go down again against Ohio State, but it doesn't matter because Penn State wins the rest of the regular season to get in the playoffs. And you're going to be really shocked about Iowa, where I've got them, honestly. I've got them losing to Wisconsin as their first loss. I really do. I think the jump around is going to be a scare for Iowa.
I got
Oregon and USC take down Iowa, but to tell you the truth, I flipped between Nebraska and Iowa. I was like, reluctantly, I got to go Iowa.
Those are always flip games too. That's the funny thing about it is they flip.
And Nebraska, I've got them going 9-3, of course, but I mean they're going to win their bowl game. But I've got them losing to Minnesota, have them losing to Penn State.
Okay.
But I think Iowa gets them down a little bit. But I think 2025 is a really good year. But I think 2026 is going to be a really tremendous year for the Cornhuskers.
I got you. I know their schedule kind of softens up for them, Jack, but in which we could talk about it a little bit. You think this is Matt Rule's big leap? This is the leap that they're looking for.
Oh yeah.
Okay. Like, we can talk about that a little more because I'm a little more skeptical on Nebraska. I like Matt Rule. I like Nebraska, but I just feel like they're another year away maybe from taking that leap, in my opinion. But go ahead with the continue
Well,
on, good
let's look
buddy.
at Indiana for a moment. 9-3. I mean, they're going to lose to Iowa and Oregon, in my opinion, and they're going to get smacked by Penn State. I feel like that's what's going to happen. But everybody else, they'll get it done. I mean, they'll play the Kennesaw State game on Nickelodeon or something like that, or on the Peacock app.
Lord, what? And Troy V asked a great question, Jackson. Troy V, thank you for being here as always. And we did your
Oh,
Ohio.
another year. They'll give him another year, but it's kind of like what they did with Scott Frost. Yeah, like how when your mom or your dad guilt trip you about not being home enough or calling enough, or it's like, oh, we've given you
Uh-huh.
everything over the years, and after all this woman has done for you, all this man's done for you. Well, that's kind of like the guilt trip that like Scott Frost's agent gave to the athletic department. Like Scott Frost did everything for you in the 90s. He did it all. Without him, there is no 90s. And they just like shut the fuck up and just give in like they're supposed to. Because that's what they're supposed to do is feel bad and let themselves get guilt tripped to the point where they have losing seasons, right? But guess
Uh-huh.
what? How did that work out? You let yourself get guilt tripped by, oh, well, this is what he did for us. We need to do better. But then after 2022, where they were losing to Northwestern because of a bad call on onside kicks, they were like, it's our fault that we didn't step up enough. But you know what? Wait a minute. We're the fans. We're the athletic department. It's not our fault. It's our fault that we've kept this guy all too long. It's you, Coach Frost. I'm saying that's what you're going to see with Matt Rule. You're going to see
Mhm.
them keep him around for another year. I mean, if they can keep Frost on for 4.25 years, they're going to keep Rule. No worries.
hmm I think so too, Jackson. I think as long as Nebraska, if they go 7-5, 8-4, I listen. I understand Nebraska fans have expectations, but I feel like 7-5, 8-4, Matt Rule's gonna be golden. I feel like it's if he falls short of 7-8 wins, in my opinion, that's when
Just don't
they
give
might be.
in to the sad, but just don't give in to the sad violin song because like somebody's playing you that.
I feel like if they don't get at least 7 wins, then Matt Rule might be a little upset. I don't think they would be ready to throw the baby out with the bathwater, as you would say,
Oh
Jack.
yeah,
But
Troy.
7-8
Troy,
wins.
let us know if that answers your question, and if not, we'll answer it in another way.
I do think though, Jackson, 7-8 wins. Matt Rule will be golden. But back to your predictions, though, good buddy. Take it away.
Well, let's look. Let's go down a little bit, shall we?
There we go. USC. Here we go.
Okay, so like USC, we don't really know what to make of them.
Uh huh.
Now, this is not what they expected with Lincoln Riley. They weren't sitting there thinking, "Oh, well, we're just gonna win the Las Vegas Bowl against Texas A&M. We're gonna be happy with that, or we're gonna be happy with beating Louisville in the Holiday Bowl." Oh, you won a pile of crap bowl games. That's not what Lincoln Riley was hired for. He was hired to get USC back to the good old days of the 2000s. He's there to bring them back to the 70s, the 60s, where they're
Mm-hmm.
just running college football by the collar. That's what he's supposed to do. Get him to the playoffs, even give him a playoff win, maybe a national title. I don't see a natty happening. I don't think I see a playoff win happening. I, what's going on in LA? I mean, my God, that's terrible. This is terrible. And the fact that his boss and himself, Jen Cohen and himself, they've been talking for months about, oh, we're going to get rid of this Notre Dame USC rivalry. Like, oh well, we're thinking about getting rid of it. It's like, well, in an ideal world, we're going to keep it on an annual basis. Like, in an ideal world, that means you want to get rid of it. Because I mean, this is the same guy that did not want to take a job at LSU or Florida because he didn't want to get his ass handed to him in the SEC, and he didn't want to stay with Oklahoma after 2022, after 2023, because he knew what was coming. So he's like, oh, well, I'm going to have it easier at USC. Oh, no. Oh, no. We have to play Notre Dame every year. Well, I got to coach one of the best rivalries in the Texas-Oklahoma. Right? It's like the great story of your youth from back in your day. That is such a PR story. That is such a PR story. Like, my God. But back off my, venting
Yeah,
session about
I was going to
Riley.
say, Jackson,
But
USC got you fired up.
it's like I've got nothing against. Like, it's not the fans. It's Cohen and Riley. And I'm gonna tell you right now, if USC is getting their ass handed to them by Notre Dame this year, and then they stink like piss for the rest of the season, or they beat Notre Dame this season, and then like play like piss against Illinois, lose a Northwestern or an Iowa, you play god awful in conference play, then it's not the Notre Dame rivalry's fault, is it? This has Jimbo Fisher era written all over it. But at least Jimbo Fisher's got more balls in keeping a rivalry than Riley does. I mean, I'll give him that.
Yeah, it's just like I understand USC gets you upset, Jackson, but with all that aside, though, good buddy, you've got them going 8-4.
Well, that's because their schedule's a little pitiful. It's a little bit pitiful. Not a whole lot, but a little bit.
But off USC for a second, we can go back to that, but continue on, good
Illinois.
buddy. Okay.
Illinois. I mean, I don't understand. I like Illinois. Don't get me wrong. But I don't understand, a few people calling them the next Indiana. I don't understand that because last year Illinois went 10-3. I mean, if you're going to call somebody the next Indiana in the world of college football, they better have a real bad losing record from the previous season. That's what happened with Indiana, because 2023, 3-9, right? Then Indiana goes 11-1, loses their playoff game, but Indiana surprised everybody. Illinois went 10-3 last season. I don't understand that narrative of they're the next. They're not the next anything. Illinois is Illinois. And I agree with Troy V. He says Maryland or Purdue would have to have a season like Indiana to be the next Indiana. Agreed. I mean, I feel like that title belongs more to Purdue than it does to Illinois if Purdue was to have like a really good season to the point where they get into the playoffs. But Illinois' schedule, I mean, we're going to find out about this Illinois team against Indiana in week 4. And we're gonna see how they handle their conference schedule. I mean, I think Illinois got it a little tougher than USC, honestly, but I just don't see how Illinois can get in the top 4. It's not quite for me. USC, I'm thinking as well, they're not going to have a good season. They're closer to having a drink at the Long Branch with Miss Key than they are in the Big Ten title. It's just not happening.
Jackson's famous quote. But see, now this you're number 10, Jackson. We're going to talk about this because you're going to stir up some controversy, young man. I'm going to let you explain yourself, and I'm
just
sure the
as
audience,
much as you did with Florida last year.
Jackson, this is your Florida, I think. But go ahead. Take it away. You were graceful with me and gave me a chance to explain myself. What do you see in Wisconsin where they will get to 7 wins?
I think they can have a good enough season, honestly. Because but I don't think the offense is going to get them going. I mean, it's like you're
Mm-hmm.
hiring Jeff Grimes to be your OC. I mean, that reeks desperation.
Mm-hmm.
It's like being desperate for a date so that your family or friends don't notice that you're single. So,
Lord have mercy.
so that's what it's just kind of like for me. But Wisconsin, the defense is going to step up. But I think Fickle is going to learn, okay, we're going to forget this air raid crap. We're going to do the running game. We're going to go by the running game. And we're going to see that as an example against Iowa. I think
Mm-hmm.
Iowa is going to get upset by Wisconsin in the regular season. But right now I do. But I don't think they win any other game in October. But November is where things get rolling. They can get a little momentum. They can beat Washington. They can beat Illinois. And sorry about this, Dave, but I got to beat Minnesota.
Mm-hmm. I mean, because that's the thing too, Jack. I mean, which we'll look at it a little more in depth for context, but when you pull up Wisconsin's schedule, it's literally it's a gauntlet. It's bad. Like I don't know why the Big Ten gave them that schedule, what they did to them, but if they make it out of there 7-5, Jackson, Luke Fickle deserves a raise, in my opinion, because that is a daunting task to do that, kind of like Florida. Now, and here's the thing too. What I will say, like Florida, Jackson, the schedule could deteriorate on them. Some teams that we think that are going to be great end up being just meh, middle of the road, and teams that we think that are going to be bad end up being good, borderline playoff teams, aka Indiana. But you got to throw that out there. But I will say this though, Jackson, you got Washington behind them at 11. So walk us through the rest of your list here, and then we can get back to
Before I
Wisconsin.
get to the rest of the list, I want to answer Dave's comment that you might change your mind about me being on your list because it's like I could be picking Minnesota to beat Wisconsin in the regular season. So it's like August predictions and November predictions are two totally different things.
This is
So
what we're
no,
This is what we're feeling right now in the moment. It's preseason. Now, once we get to Minnesota, Wisconsin, Jackson may change his mind. Kind of like me. Like right now, I'm picking Penn State, Ohio State. I may change my mind and be like, He's like, it's okay, Jackson. You know
oh,
I'm
I
picking.
know it's all in good fun. I know it, man.
But I will say this though, Jackson. Washington though, you've got him going 7-5, so you don't see him having a bounce back year like I do. Four is yours.
Oregon's gonna smack them. Ohio State's smacking them. Michigan is smacking them.
Mm-hmm.
Illinois wins a tight one. Wisconsin wins a tight one in overtime.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, the non-con's awful. But I do see the Apple Cup being a close one
Again.
again, unfortunately.
And then Jackson, you kind of have your clutter here of your
Oh,
6 and 6s
God.
between Michigan State, Minnesota, Rutgers. I mean, and then you got your UCLA's, your Northwestern. You are not very high. Maryland and Purdue, Jackson, are the two worst teams you have in this
Oh,
conference.
Mike Losley's getting fired. That's the thing. His
I know
ass is
Jackson. I know he's getting fired for both of us, but 2-10, Jackson. Good lord, they ain't gonna win
I
a.
don't like any of the conference wins. I mean,
Lord have mercy.
I don't see Maryland being Northern Illinois. That's bad.
Yeah, that's bad, 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 bad. And then, of course, your Big Ten title game, you have Oregon over Ohio State. So you've got Oregon repeating in year two, their first time ever in this conference. And they're the first team to go back to back in a new conference,
Mhm.
making history. Okay, I
They'll
like
be they'll be spanking Ohio State the Big Ten title game. But I mean, it really doesn't matter who wins the Big Ten title game because both those teams are in the playoffs.
And Troy V says Washington has most of the big hitters on their schedule at home, and it's a tough place to play. I like their coach, maybe a year off, but could have a good year. Yeah, and Troy, and I'll go back up to my predictions. I've got Ohio State losing 2. I do have them winning the Big Ten over Penn State, but I've got them losing 2. And one of the games I said is I could see Ohio State going to Washington, especially if it's at night, and losing that game. And I've touted this from ever since the schedule came out. You can even ask Jackson this. I said, be careful going to Washington at night. Michigan thought it was going to be easy doing that. It's not. It's one of the best environments and hardest environments to play at home. Go on the road at night. There's just something about it. It's like going to Seattle. There's something about it. Their environment's different. I remember Jackson picked Michigan last year, and I tried to talk him out of it, but he was convinced Michigan was the better team. And I even told him, I said, sometimes, Jackson, the better team doesn't always win, especially when it's on the road. And Clint Moses here brings up a great point. Historically speaking, Big Ten traveling to UW isn't great for traveling team historically. And that's another thing, too. With Washington and Oregon going out west, it's different. It hits different, especially if you're an Ohio State, you're a Penn State going out west like that. It hits you different because you're an East Coaster. You're not used to that. And like he said, it's the fit in the air. There's something about going to Washington. Something about it.
Oh, yeah.
Go ahead, Jack. Go ahead.
Well, before we get to our next point, we'd like to thank Amber Holly for reposting this stream. We appreciate her for telling everybody to tell the friends, family, and the cashiers at Kroger about the magic we're creating on this live stream, where we talk about the 2025 Big Ten predictions from yours truly, Jackson Johnson and Austin Williams from Sports Talk with Austin.
Thank you. We appreciate it, and we hope you enjoy the show. And Troy V says they know how to build stadiums in the Pacific Northwest. Them stadiums hold the noise better than our larger open-air stadiums do in the Midwest. Yeah, I've noticed that. You notice that, Jackson, when you watch the games? I know they say it's different when you watch it on TV and actually go to the game, but you went to a Bama game, and you've watched them on TV, of course. Is there a difference?
Well, I've not been in the Pacific Northwest, but I'll make sure to go there at some point in my lifetime. But I know, like the Big House, you can really lose your hearing over there.
Mm-hmm. I mean, when you went to the Bama game, Jackson, was it loud?
Oh, it was super loud.
Okay. Did the noise go up or did it stay down? You know how when you're in a stadium, the noise takes a minute to come up?
Depended on the moment.
Okay, I got you. And Clint Moses says UW upper decks seats are so steep it's a little scary. I've always wanted to go to Seattle/Washington, go to their stadium. I've been by it a couple times. Like, it's a cool little venue to look at, especially the Seahawks, the 12s and everything. But I've always wanted to do that. I've always wanted to go to the Georgia Dome. I think would be cool. I would like to go see the Big House. I'd like to go to Ohio State Stadium. I'd love to go see Bama and Auburn Stadium. They're one of the best venues in college football. Even though Jackson makes fun of Auburn, they've got a nice venue. And they fill it up every time. Those Auburn fans love their team. Whether they suck or not, or in Jackson's case, they suck everything. But
Well, I mean, they'll bring their A game when it's Alabama and Georgia, but other than that, that's it.
Well, that's true. That's true. But looking at this, though, Jackson, I've got Ohio State over Penn State. You've got Oregon over Ohio State. So, like we did with the last 3, Jackson, what's your percentage, confidence-wise, of your championship game coming to fruition? If you were to give me
honestly, I'm 60% confident, but it could be lowered.
I'm going to say I'm 75%. I'm a little higher. I'm liking my championship game. But what I do want to talk about is, Jackson, since we brought it up, let's look at Wisconsin's schedule, shall we? What do you think?
Absolutely. Let's do it.
Because, Jackson, that seems to be You have them at 7 wins. You're a little higher on them than I am. And the chat seems to be kind of with me on this, that Wisconsin gauntlet of a schedule. So let's take a look at it here and let's talk through this. Let's give this an old look see here, because that seems to be one of the more controversial ones we've got today. Is Wisconsin. Here we go. Let me pull this up. While I do that, so let me ask you this, Jackson. If Wisconsin does win 7 games, like you're predicting, does Luke Fickell get another year?
Yes.
Okay.
Safe.
So he's safe. So here's Wisconsin's schedule. Here we go. Let's take a look, see at this real fast. Okay. Week 1 against Miami, Ohio. That should be a win, right?
Obviously.
Miami, Middle Tennessee State. They should win that, correct?
Well, yeah. They're going to get smacked by Bama. They're going to lose to Maryland.
Really? You think Maryland beats them at home?
No. Sorry about that. They're going to beat Maryland. Like, where the heck's my mind today? I meant to say Michigan.
Okay. I'm very sad.
Sorry about that.
Okay.
I got like 20 files in my head right now. It's
You're
cluttered.
good, Jackson. You're good. I was just like, wait a minute. You just said Maryland's not gonna win a game and you changed your mind. Okay. So
apparently
this October stretch right here, Jackson.
My mind was stuck in 2010 for a moment.
So this stretch right here, Jackson, at Michigan, home versus Ohio State and Iowa, at Oregon. So this right here, Jackson, is the crucial
Iowa's
stretch.
the win. Iowa's the one win. They don't beat Michigan, Ohio State, or Oregon.
Here's the thing, too. And this is the thing here that I want to know. And Steven reposted the stream as well. Thank you as always, Steven. And he says, just checking in. Salute to me and you, Double J. Steven, we thank you as always. No matter if you're an Ohio State fan or not, we love your presence. Although I did have Ohio State win in the Big Ten. Jackson, on the other hand, he's a hater. Don't listen to him, Steven. See, Jackson's a hater. Bama fans.
I was torn between the Buckeyes and Oregon, but I didn't have Penn State winning the Big Ten.
I didn't either. I had them going to the game, but back to Wisconsin really bad. It's all love between me and Jackson. Anywho, this stretch right here, though, Jackson, that 4-game stretch, though, the Michigan, Iowa, Ohio State, Oregon, if they somehow come out of that 2-2, then they have a chance. Do you think they can go to Oregon and surprise them? Do you think there's a chance?
Nobody can beat Oregon in Autzen Stadium, but I think they can. They can give at least one of those 3 teams a dogfight.
You think maybe Ohio State?
More like Michigan. More like Michigan.
You think they go to Michigan and give Michigan a dogfight? Okay. Then we go down the rest of the schedule here. Then they've got Washington home, at Indiana, Illinois, and at Minnesota. So, Jackson, what are your 7 wins?
Washington, Illinois, and Minnesota are wins for Wisconsin. I don't see them beating Indiana.
Okay. I'm just trying to get an understanding here because a lot of people see 4 wins maybe. And I could tell you my 4 wins. I got them winning their opening 2. I've got them beating Maryland. And I've got them surprising upset. I've got them beating Illinois.
Ooh.
I've got them beating Illinois the second to last week of the year. That's where my 4 wins come in at. I mean, if this is with this schedule, Jackson, for Luke Fickell to keep his job, would 6-6 be enough? If they somehow win 6?
We'll wait and see about that.
Okay. Let's see.
Then you'll probably get like the you might get the report from Pete Thamel that he gets the vote of confidence for 2026.
Okay. So Jackson, we were both kind of not. Steven disagrees, says they won't beat Illinois. It's at home for Wisconsin. I could see it. I could. It's my preseason shot in the dark. Another one of them. And Troy V says Wisconsin will be 1-11 with the only win being at Bama. Wouldn't that be a trip? Jackson, he's trying to start something with you. Handle it.
I'll let him have
Jackson's
his
just
fun. I
daggone
guess
it,
it'd be like
Jackson.
Ohio State, Virginia Tech, where Virginia Tech beat Ohio State in 2014. Then everybody forgot about them afterwards.
And he says yes, with this schedule, yes, but any lower than 6-6, he's getting fired. And the real MVP is in the house. Woo-woo! And he says Ohio State at 12-0 seems improbable with their schedule. Yeah, Jackson, you had the Buckeyes going undefeated. And I want to ask the chat this too. Is there a world where Ohio State goes 12-0, like Jackson's predicting? And I know we got a couple Buckeye fans here. I mean, let me pull up their schedule real fast. Hold on. Let me backpedal here. Because while we're talking about it, let's pull up their schedule. Ohio State, what is their schedule? We're going to talk about Maryland real quick, but let's get Ohio State's schedule. Let's see here. It is 12-0 on the horizon. I highly doubt it. Highly doubt it. Come on, computer, stop messing with me. So, Jackson, you don't think Ohio State's going to lose any games?
Not in the regular season. I mean, I don't see
Really?
them.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. No, I don't want to see Wisconsin's schedule. Why are my computer? I get it figured out, but
Well, we know a certain Hellraiser that's going to be really happy about, and a humongous Mountain Dew drinking SOB that's going to love that prediction. But I don't think he's going to like my Big Ten title prediction. He'll like your Big Ten title prediction though, Austin.
yes, which I will pull it back up on the screen here in just a second. Okay, so here's their schedule. Obviously, the biggest game of week 1 is going to be Ohio State, Texas. That's the biggest game. And me and you both, Jackson, right now have them winning this game because I'm losing 2 conference games. They're obviously going to beat Grambling in Ohio, right? Then at Washington. At Washington, that was my one game I said they could lose. I know they'll have 2 weeks to prepare, but still, at Washington's a different animal. If they had 2 weeks preparing, it was at home, then yeah, I would give it to them. They got Minnesota at home. That could be interesting. They got to go to Camp Randall and go to Illinois. Those could get interesting. Of course, the second biggest game of their schedule is Penn State. At Purdue, I mean, let's be honest, Jackson, this isn't Jeff Brom Purdue. They're not going to be the spoiler makers. They've lost that privilege. They got UCLA and Rutgers at home and at Michigan. I mean, so Jackson, you don't see any losses on this schedule.
No.
Okay. Really? So you think they win at Washington, at Illinois, at Wisconsin, they beat Penn State, and they beat Texas?
And there's a win against Michigan.
Wow. Jackson, I admire your confidence. And he said, these guys, that guy needs to calm down with the Mountain Dew. It's like, wow. And Troy V says, I always say 12-0. I never predict a loss. Don't need the negative energy. Troy, you have to keep yourself honest, though, do you not? You got to look at it realistically. I mean, I could say Louisville's going to go 12-0 and win the ACC too, but I try to look at it positive. I mean, look, I predicted Louisville to go 8-4. I mean, I understand, but Yeah, anywho. But Jackson, what do you say we take some phone calls? Does that sound
Oh,
like a plan? Do you want to
yeah,
hear the people's comment?
absolutely. Let's hear the people's comments, but we'll keep it to 8 minutes and 30 seconds each caller, so this way each caller gets their turn.
Yes, and Troy V says, nope, I'm a fan, and a fan is short for fanatic. I understand that, Troy. We're all fanatics. Look at Jackson. He's dripping in Bama red. Like, look at him. He's got the beautiful elephant hat. He's got, I think that's a Bama shirt on.
No, that's a Trash Pandas hat. I've got the Braves shirt on, even though they suck right
Oh,
now.
well, stole
I
my
got that
thunder, my bad.
Wisconsin hoodie, although I need to get a Bama hoodie at some point.
And Troy V says, no need for logic with this. Troy,
As like Sean Garner said on a Past After Dark episode, if you're looking for logical thinkers, you won't find it in politics or the sports world.
well, me and you are logical thinkers, Jackson. We
Oh
try
yeah.
to be logical when we think of things. I mean, because we could both say Louisville man was going to go undefeated and play for the national title, but we both know that's not going to happen. I mean, and I understand people say, well, that's negative energy, that's negative knowingness, but you just got to be realistic with yourself, Jackson. It's like when you get married. You the relationship's not going to be perfect. You're not going to get to come home from work and your wife's going to cook you some dinner and that's all that she wrote. No, you're going to have to take out the garbage. You're going to have to feed the baby. You're going to have to take the dog out. And and occasionally you might fuss at one another. That's kind of what this is. But with that being said, though, we have Jackson, our first caller of the day, and he is a wonderful, wonderful Minnesota fan. Everyone knows, loves him, and he is very particular with this conference. Welcome, Minnesota Dave.
All
How
right,
goes it, Dave?
it's time to have a Big Ten guy talk about Big Ten football.
There we go.
Yeah. Yes.
So I agree with certain things you guys said, especially with my team, but I don't see the Gophers going 6-6.
Okay.
I
What's
really
the
look at
record
the
prediction?
I really look at the schedule being 8-4.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel they will have losses to Nebraska,
Mm-hmm.
uh, Iowa, and of course Ohio State and Oregon.
Okay. Okay.
And
Do you
those
think
are for a
that's
chance to maybe make the college football playoffs. We would have to win both Nebraska and Iowa. I just
okay?
don't see any other stupid losses. The only one that I could see that maybe a stupid loss could be at maybe Michigan State and at Cal. If you're
Yeah.
gonna if you're gonna pick one or two,
Yeah, I mean, I know people make fun of it, Dave, but going to Cal, I mean, they gave Miami all they could handle last year. So I wouldn't be surprised if you're watching that game and it's like 24-20 with like a minute to go and Cal's driving to win it. That wouldn't shock me. Weird things happen
and
at Cal.
going out to the West Coast is always tough for like a Midwest team,
Yes.
and it like that's the only like I said the only dumb loss I could see them having, along with Michigan State. I don't see them losing at Northwestern at all this year, especially
I was
when especially when it's at Wrigley Field and there's going to be more Gopher fans there than there is going to be
yeah,
Northwestern fans.
I
And
I could see that.
you know what? The only thing I would slightly agree with Jackson with the Wisconsin thing is Minnesota and Wisconsin have played each other 8 times since PJ Fleck has become the coach, and it's been 500, and it's been a dyslexic 500 with the away team winning most of the games.
Mhm. Mhm.
So I could see the Badgers maybe getting up for that game and if they're on the like a chance to go to a bowl game, they might pull off that win.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't really see the Badgers doing all that much. I have the Badgers basically only winning 3 games, and then that's against the Maryland and the MAC schools and the Middle Tennessee. But shoot, you really look at it, like Wisconsin has a very very tough schedule, and they are playing even good. Uh, they have a good is Middle Tennessee's that's Conference USA, right?
Yes.
And they're usually pretty competitive in that conference.
Yes. Because they beat Miami one year too out of conference, which was funny, but
And then Miami, Ohio is no joke. I mean,
hmm
next to Toledo and Ohio, I think
hmm
they can win the MAC.
hmm I could see that being for Wisconsin too, Dave. That could be one of them where Miami, Ohio could be driving to take the lead against Wisconsin. Because that's the funny thing about the Big Ten. And Dave, and you can say more to this than I can, being the Big Ten guy. But it seems like your Minnesota, your Rutgers, your Wisconsins, your Illinois typically, and till here lately, Indiana, the MAC schools always give them a game. Like Western Michigan, Wisconsin was a great game until about the last, I think, 6 minutes of that game, and then Wisconsin's defense was like, okay, we've had enough.
Yeah,
It created like
yeah.
2 turnovers back to back. But
Oh
yeah.
yeah, yeah. And then I've seen. I mean, and equally I could say that with the Sun Belt in the uh, SEC, because the SEC usually has 1 or 2 losses to a Sun Belt team.
Mm-hmm.
But normally it's like the lower SEC schools losing to a upper echelon Sun Belt team.
Mm-hmm. Your Vandy's, your Mississippi
Yeah,
States, those type.
yeah, yeah, yeah. You
You,
know,
not your Bama's, your Georgia's, those type.
no. You're middle of the road to lower
Mm-hmm.
SEC schools.
Mm-hmm. And what I want to touch on today with Minnesota is, I'm glad you're here because I got Minnesota going 6-6. Me and Jackson both do. I,
And
I do think, and the reason why that is because, you talk about those silly games they lose. Are you confident that those are out of their system? Like, that with this schedule, you don't think they'll have any mental lapses? I know you said the Cow could get sketchy, but the way they schedule this at Northwestern, it's before a rivalry game. Do you think there's a possible look ahead?
um, the thing is with Northwestern though, their record at Wrigley, they have not won a game at Wrigley. That's the reason why I
Oh yeah.
really think. Yeah, they have not won a game at Wrigley since they played occasionally one game at Wrigley every year. Usually
Mm-hmm.
it's Illinois,
Mm-hmm.
but they've been doing this whole entire, like near the end of the year, playing 2 games now at Wrigley, and they have not won at Wrigley Field.
Mm-hmm.
And if you watch those games, it is like, again, it's almost
Mm-hmm.
40-60, and 60% visiting fans, and 40% Northwestern fans, you know.
Mm-hmm. And that's one of the things too, Dave. When I kind of looked at the schedule, kind of give you look at my mindset. I won't speak for Jackson, but I kind of look at where they schedule everybody because typically right before rivalry week, we see a lot of wacky things happen. Like Auburn a couple years ago losing to New Mexico State. No one would have ever thought that, but it happened. And Michigan, Ohio State, for whatever godforsaken reason, always find a way to play their opponents close to one another the week before rivalry. That's kind of where my mindset was with Minnesota too. I was like, well, if Wisconsin is say 5-6, like you mentioned, about they need that win to win a bowl game, and
Mhm.
and Minnesota could be like, oh, we're looking ahead to Wisconsin. We see a wounded animal, but then they
Mhm.
overlook Northwestern. I'm not saying they will, Dave. I'm saying it's a possibility.
Oh, it's a possibility. I
Eh,
mean, I would say that there was a possibility for upset if it was at Ryan Field, but it's
okay.
not. It's the
Mm-hmm.
Ryan Field's gone and they're playing the game at Wrigley. That's the only reason.
Mm-hmm.
I don't consider it a possibility. I would say there's more of a chance for like Michigan State or Cal to beat them.
Mm-hmm. I got you, and that's the thing too. I mean, I know everyone makes fun of this, but I've seen some people go on record and say Purdue's going to beat Minnesota, and I'm like, I know it's Barriona's first year, and people are high on Purdue, but that's not going to happen. I'm sorry.
Yeah, people that pick that either they hate PJ with a passion,
Mm-hmm.
or they just think that the Gophers haven't done anything in the last couple of
Mm-hmm.
years. Or they don't know much about the Gophers. They think the Tim Brewster is still coaching.
Uh-huh. Yeah. I mean,
Oh yeah.
that's the thing too, Dave, because it's just like because looking at the schedule, like we mentioned, Buffalo, you've got Northwestern State, Cal, you've got Rutgers could be a fun little game. I mean, I think that's the
Yeah,
game not a lot of people are talking about. I know it's because it's Minnesota Rutgers, but I think that could be a fun competitive game between two possible borderline 7-8 win teams. How do you feel about that game, Dave?
well that's the Kelly McManus game. That's our former quarterback going against us
Mm-hmm.
again. And again, also another, and I think our former defensive coordinator is going against us in this game. Uh, I could see it happening. I just because we're playing at home, I don't. That's the reason why I don't see it.
Mm-hmm. And I don't think there'll be any look ahead to Ohio State either. I know I know we use that phrase a lot to look ahead. Do you either one of you guys in the chat too? Do you actually think teams actually do look ahead to opponents, or just like what do you think causes that? Is it actual?
Oh yeah.
I
You
think it
do think
happens.
you think it's a
Yeah, I
legit
see
thing?
it. Yeah, totally. I think it's a totally a legit argument to say that some schools, it's just human nature to look at someone that's bad and don't think they're going to give you a game, especially when you have a rivalry game or a
Mm-hmm.
big game coming up.
Mm-hmm. Well, the reason why I bring that up, Dave and Jackson, is because you'll hear coaches all the time when they get up on the podium and the reporters are asking, "Were you looking ahead to? Let's use Minnesota, Wisconsin," and they'll get up there and say, "No, we were not. We just didn't play well today, and that's on me." And that's why I bring that up. Is the coaches just speaking that to
Yeah,
say we don't want
yeah.
to give the media any nibbles, so to speak, at the bread, or they actually don't look ahead. They just were playing bad.
I can see them, sometimes just playing bad, or also looking ahead. I think it's like 50-50.
Mm-hmm.
Y- There's some games they're called trap games for a reason
Mm-hmm.
because they're stuck in between a big game,
Mm-hmm.
you know, because if Purdue, if you want to consider it, I don't even consider us. I don't see us losing to Purdue, but like next game after Purdue is this. If your Minnesota's winning, has won every game, beaten Ohio State. Well, no, not beaten Ohio, but has won every game, lost to Ohio State, and the next game is Purdue for us. And
Mm-hmm.
I look at that and go, you can consider it maybe a trap game, but I just don't see us losing to Purdue. And then if you beat Purdue, you have the two biggest games right on Minnesota's schedule, which is Nebraska and Iowa. That's your bread and butter games right there. You have to at least, you know, if you take both of them, you have a chance for the college football playoffs. I
Mm-hmm.
mean, if you
And
split, if there's a split, if I had an acceptable split, I would take I would say I would rather lose to Nebraska at home and then beat Iowa away. you
mm-hmm.
know,
Well, because that's my thing with that too, Dave and Jackson. Too is I think the three biggest games for Minnesota is Iowa, Nebraska, Wisconsin. As crazy as it sounds, and I know Ohio State's on that schedule. I know you've got some other big names on there, but to me, those three games will epitomize your season. Because if,
oh yeah,
like you said, if you go 2-1 It sets yourself up really good. If you go 1-2, it could end badly, depending and the way they're sprinkled out too. I the way they do the schedule sometimes, and Jackson could speak to this, is sometimes they clunk them all together and be like, here, play your two biggest rivals back to back, and then we'll give you a Georgia or we'll give you one of the best opponents next. And it's like, really? Kind of like what happened to Wisconsin. They get to play Iowa, Ohio State, Oregon, and Michigan all within a span of 4 weeks. And that's just not right. They got to fix that.
Yeah, that's
Like,
a huge thing they have to fix. That makes no sense because if you really look at it, like the reason why I'm up on Illinois is everybody's returning and they have the easiest Big Ten schedule, probably easier than Indiana. The last 4 games are teams I feel that will be near the bottom of the Big Ten.
Yeah. And the thing about it too is, Dave, with the scheduling, and it's not just the Big Ten. I don't want people to think we're picking on the Big Ten. It's the ACC, it's the Big 12, it's all the conferences. The way they schedule, you either get the lightest schedule and then you get crammed in the back half, or you get crammed in the front and then you get the easy stuff at the back. And I just wish we just had a happy middle. Like we could spread it out. I understand with the realignment caused a lot of that to go awry, but if there was a way we could be like, okay, Illinois, you're going to play Ohio State, Oregon, and Penn State, but instead of playing them all within a span of 2 or 3 weeks, you'll play Ohio State week 4, you'll play Penn State week 9, and then you'll play Oregon second to last week and kind of spread it out, or you'll play Penn State after the bye.
Can you quickly check Illinois' schedule for me?
Yes, we'll do that. Check Illinois. Yeah, I know like I said, they go at Duke. That was one of my losses, Dave, that I had for them. I don't know if you would agree with that, but do you think they could go? Do you think they could lose on the road to Duke?
They can.
Or minority
They could win every game except for Ohio State.
Okay,
that's my opinion.
Okay. I'm going to pull it up, and even better, we'll put it on the big screen. Oh, Jackson's done prepared. Okay. Jackson, that's why you get paid the big dollars here. But, yeah, they'll win that first game. Western Michigan, could that be a scare?
No.
Dave, what do you think?
Western's going to have. I feel that Western Michigan, they could, but they're not. I feel that like I said, Toledo, Ohio State, and Miami of Ohio are probably the only teams I would worry about when I'm playing in the MAC. Western maybe, but I just don't see it happening to Illinois. And then again, I think Eastern Michigan beat them like 2 years ago, but that was, or a couple of years ago.
2019.
Okay, so that was that before they hired Brett Bielema?
Before they hired Brett Bielema, yes, it was the 4th year of the Lovie Smith era.
So yeah, I just think Brett is such a good coach that he'll have his team ready to play Western. I look at that schedule, like I said, I don't see them losing that many games.
Now,
especially at the end. If you look at that ending, it's just you got.
Dave, this is where I might push back on you a little bit because here's interesting. I know they go at Indiana. That's a toss-up. But look at where Purdue's sandwiched at. I know this isn't Jeff Braun Purdue, but the week before Ohio State, is there a little spoiler maker magic left, Dave? Because this is what Purdue is known for. Do you think this could be one of them? Where no one thinks about it, and then all of a sudden Purdue somehow wins this game.
They could, but monkeys might fly out of my butt.
And Troy V says that 5-game stretch from Indiana to Washington is going to make or break their season. Agree. And here's the thing too: their toughest games at Washington. Here's the thing: I don't think that would be a night game. I don't think so, unless they're both like undefeated. Or they're both 1 loss. But if it's at night, even if it's not at night, going to Washington's a tough task. I mean, they got USC at home. like you said, that 5-game stretch from Indiana and Washington is going to make or break their season. Would you agree with that, Dave?
Oh yeah, yeah. This is the meat of their schedule right here. But when you get to the bottom half, it's like, okay, they should win almost all 4 of those games.
Mm-hmm. I do think too, going at Indiana, that to me.
Well, that's the whole entire season for Illinois right there.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, as Jackson's scrolling, like they got Rutgers off Washington. Rutgers could be, like they.
Rutgers, yeah, but Illinois should beat them. I still feel I think I think Rutgers and Michigan State are such a middle of the road Big Ten teams right now
Uh-huh.
that I feel that
Mm-hmm.
I don't see them getting any better than maybe 7-5.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and no, but I also don't see them going any lower than 5-7.
I
So
got you. I got you. And OV does bring up a great point, Dave. Illinois lost their wide receivers from last year, leaves me a little skeptical. Yeah, and that too is what actually kind of scares me about Illinois, because Luke Altmaier's back, their quarterback, but he doesn't have the weapons he did last year either. And for some people, that doesn't make a difference, because if you have the experienced quarterback, then that should overcome your deficiencies elsewhere.
mm-hmm.
That's kind of, I understand people that say that, but also losing the receivers they did, I could see it affecting them.
Oh yeah, when
Mm-hmm.
Morgan lost both Jackson and um, uh, uh, Bateman, he did
Mm-hmm.
not play all that well after that.
Yeah, that was a rough stretch. And like you said, the back half here, it's not that bad. At Washington, then their 2 biggest games on the back half is at Wisconsin, at Washington. They can beat Northwestern, obviously. They can beat Maryland, they can beat Rutgers. If they split Wisconsin and Washington, and let's say they have 7 wins, the 8 wins, they could be 9-3.
Oh yeah, I mean, like Illinois, like I said, they just has such a favorable schedule. Like I said, I think their ceiling is 11-1, and their floor is probably 7-5.
Yeah. I mean, is there any game on this schedule, Dave, that you look at and you could say it would be a stupid loss, as you like to call it, which is funny?
A stupid loss, Western Michigan.
Oh gosh, if they lose that day, then they don't deserve to be in any conversation.
Exactly. You know, another stupid loss would be like to Maryland. That's
Yeah.
a stupid loss.
If they lose to Maryland at home, Dave, I'm sorry to tell you this, but if they lose to Maryland at home, Lord have mercy. Like the Brent Bielema doubters are going to be coming out of the woodworks left and right. They're already waiting for a reason to doubt him again. If they lose to Maryland at home, that's going to do it right there.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
And I will say this too. How do you feel on Maryland, Dave? Do you think Mike Locksley can do enough to save his job? Jackson and me both have them. Well, Jackson has them only winning 2 games.
I'm
I have
very
them.
low on them.
Yeah.
I
Jackson,
think they lose every Big Ten game this year.
really? Okay. I think they can get 5 wins and somehow almost sneak into a bowl.
I really don't have any hope for them. They might even lose to. I think they're playing Ohio. They might lose to them. There's another team that I feel that could, like I said, like the top 3 MAC teams can probably beat the bottom 3 Big Ten teams.
Really? Okay. Okay. I mean, here's the thing with that. And like, someone's got to win these games, as they always say. And I just feel like Maryland's that team. They'll win 2 games, and they'll win 2 games that we know they shouldn't win. I just see it happening. And if Maryland does win 5 games, would they give Mike Locksley the vote of confidence, so to speak.
Well, yeah. I mean, I feel like the vote of confidence would be for him. If they go 6-6, he's still there. I mean, but that's like the average that I feel that they always do. I mean, they've always recruited great like wide receivers, a decent quarterback, and that's pretty much it. You know, they don't really have a good defense. Their offensive line is awful, just
Mm-hmm.
awful. And the running attack is never that impressive for me, for Maryland, or even threatening.
Okay.
Their,
So
their
since
biggest threat's in the air all the time, and that's been a Loxley team for years. It's been a Maryland thing for years.
well,
But
and the thing too is Dave Billy Edwards Jr. That's another thing. A lot of people thought he was going to be greater than the way they talked him up in camp last year, and he was just like a fart through a church. But pull up Maryland's schedule here for context. They should win the first three, right? Nobody
oh
disagrees
yeah,
with that. So there's
oh
3 and
yeah.
0. At Wisconsin, I think that's a loss. Washington at home, Nebraska at home, at UCLA, Indiana at home, at Rutgers, at Illinois, Michigan home, and Michigan State at home. I mean, or neutral site in Detroit. My bad. But looking at that,
Neutral quotations on that one. That's basically a Michigan State home game.
yeah, exactly. But looking at this schedule, though, I could see 5 wins out of it, maybe even 6. They didn't get a bad draw either.
Yeah, they could. I mean, like if they beat Washington, if they beat Maryland, they beat UCLA, maybe surprise Rutgers and surprise against Michigan State. Yeah, they could. I mean, those are the they didn't get a bad draw at all. I mean, this is sort of a schedule that's the opposite for that that
Mm-hmm.
Fickle has to go through at Wisconsin. So for
Mm-hmm.
trying to keep his job, like Loxley just has an easier schedule than Fickle does. But
Yes.
I still don't see them winning that many games. Really I wouldn't be like I said, I shouldn't say that they'll lose every game, but they're probably only going to maybe win 1 or 2 games in the Big Ten.
And here's the thing, too. For Maryland, they got to win these first 3 games if they want any chance at doing anything. If they do not beat FAU, NIU, and Townsend, if they don't go 3-0 in that stretch, their season is done for.
Oh,
Right
and then
there.
I can see them losing to Ohio.
Yeah.
Wait,
Yeah.
does no, they don't have Ohio. I thought they had Ohio. Never mind. Oh, they have Northern Illinois. Okay.
I
Well, Northern
mean,
Illinois can still beat them.
yes. I won't count that game out, but they should win that at home. I mean, if they don't start 3-0, that's where I'm just like, okay. The schedule is set up for Mike Loxley to keep his job another year, in my opinion. They set it up for him. He's just got to find 6 wins out of this schedule. And you're telling me, and Jackson's telling me that he can't find 6 wins.
No.
And I can't even find 6 wins either.
Well, I found 5. The first 3, I think they upset Indiana, and I think they beat Michigan State.
All right.
I think they upset Indiana at home. I do.
If
I think that's. I
if
think
if
that
they
should not.
upset Indiana, you come to Minnesota, I'll get you a steak dinner.
I got you. Okay. Oh my gosh.
Who beats Minnesota? What happens? What happens? Then
Jackson's getting beat. I was just like, I won't hold him to it or nothing, but I was just like, I could see that Maryland beating Indiana. I could see it just because that would be the Mike Loxley. Look at me. I beat
Oh, you
Indiana.
get a steak dinner if that happens? Oh man, I'll make sure to remember that.
But seriously though, Dave, is that not something Mike Locksley and Jackson that he would do? Beat an Indiana team and then brag about it and say, "I beat Indiana. I should get another year." Is that not something he would do?
I, I would brag about it if I the way that Indiana's been is portrayed to is portrayed to look at. Indiana's. I don't. I agree with probably like our buddy Jeffrey easily with Indiana. I can see them being 8-4,
Okay, so
but I
let's
don't see
pull up.
them losing to Maryland.
I, I, I see that as like my sneak. That's like my sneak. I could change my mind, but here's Indiana's schedule. You want to talk about cupcake non-conference, Jackson?
Oh yeah,
You want to get mad at Penn State? Look at this. Look at
Oh
this.
God, that's terrible.
Like you want to get
yeah,
mad at Penn State? Mad at
Indiana
Indiana
will get
too.
another year pass from me because they're not a blue blood, but it's just I'm probably gonna give them hell again. Give them hell next year.
yeah.
Like they
Well,
should go. But look at this though, Dave. The Big Ten didn't give them no favors this year. They go at Iowa, at Oregon, at Penn State. They've got
yeah,
3 losable games right there.
yeah, and they can easily, and then the Illinois games is a make or break game for them. You know, that's a huge that'll
Mhm,
make or break their season. Because if Illinois beats them, they're definitely an 8-4 team, and I can see
mhm.
them. Like I said, I
I
can
mean,
see Illinois beating them.
mhm. And here's the thing too. And looking at this, it look. I know we talk about Wisconsin's 4 game stretch, but look at this at Iowa and at Oregon. Like you can only hope to split that because I don't think they're going to win both. Do either of you think they can win both those games?
No, they're gonna lose. They're gonna lose to Oregon.
Oregon? Okay. Well, I mean, they could beat Oregon, could. I mean, Idaho almost did, but then again, eh, I know.
So
I've
wait,
gone on
are
record.
they are they at? I forgot.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Okay. Let me look it up. Okay.
They're
Okay.
at
They're at
Oregon.
Oregon. Okay. That they could lose both of those games easily.
Yeah. And Joy B says Indiana Old Dominion would be a great basketball game. Football, not so much. Yeah.
Yeah.
I
I wouldn't
mean,
be surprised if there was an upset of a major upset. Old Dominion beating Indiana would be a possible one out of all those 3 games, those first 3.
but look at this too, Dave. I mean, at Penn State and at Oregon and at Iowa, and it's just like, and here's the thing too, you could not ask for besides Wisconsin. I really do think the Big Ten decided, okay, Indiana, you want to be good again? We're going to give you 3 of the toughest games we could think of, and they gave them to them. That's why I'm
Oh yeah.
kind of just like, I don't know how they make it out of the schedule with less than 4 losses just off those 3 games.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, if they pull off a win against Indiana, if they somehow they have to at least split between Oregon and Iowa.
Uh
And
huh.
then, and this is just for them just to be 10-2. I have them losing to probably Penn State. They're going to probably lose to Oregon of all the definite ones. And then of course they're going to probably beat Purdue at the end of the year, and they're probably going to beat everybody else. But
Mm-hmm.
yeah, they have Purdue. Uh, yeah, Penn State and Oregon are the only 2 acceptable losses. If they can save, only lose those 2 games, they totally go back to being a 10-2 team and probably make the playoffs,
Mm-hmm.
or at least
And
be in the effort in the talk for it.
and why I got you here, Dave, and Jackson too. I want to talk about Iowa, your rival. Because I made the comparison. Iowa's like the Pittsburgh Steelers. They always win 7-8 games.
And they look like the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Mm-hmm.
But I wanted to bring this up with Dave because he knows a lot about Iowa because, of course, Minnesota, Iowa, big rivals. I wanted to get his opinion. I have them winning 8 games. I know some people may say that that's a little nuts. I've seen some people go as low as 6. I just think it's hard for me to see Kurt Ferentz not go 8-4, 7-5. He's that consistent. And
Yeah.
so I just want to
Yeah.
get your take looking at this schedule.
Okay, looking at the schedule. Okay, the only out of these games you're showing right now, the only game I see them losing definitely, well, not even definitely, because it's been sort of another dyslexic series, is Iowa State, but usually the away team has won that game in the last couple of years.
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
And I mean, at Rutgers, maybe in Piscataway, would that be an Iowa thing to do to lose that game?
they could. They lost to UCLA. Iowa's kind of like the Minnesota Gophers in some ways. There's always one stupid loss that they're not supposed to have.
But this is what they get on this half of the schedule. Now, this right here, this is why I bring this up, because they get Penn State, Oregon, at SC. They got to go all the way to the West Coast. And, of course, they got your Gophers, who you told me about, Dave, who you're very high on.
The best thing for them right now is they're playing at Kinnick Stadium for the Gopher game.
Mm-hmm. Well, and look at this, and I'll say this too, Dave, but look at the Big Ten, though. They kind of gave Iowa a nice draw, because that 3-game stretch between where you're sandwiched in between the two big dogs, they're both at Kinnick. The Big Ten actually did them a nice little favor, so they'll have a fighting chance to win those games.
Oh, I easily can see them being a 10-2 team. Like a lot of these 6-6 teams, a lot of these teams, I feel that can be 7-5, 6-6 that even you guys picked. They also can easily be 10-2, and be the next Indiana. So that the middle of the Big Ten is going to be a huge battle for like 4th and 5th. And there's like at least I would say probably. I would say 5 to 6 teams that really, really have a shot for it. And Iowa's, just because they have such a great defense. And, the big question, though, is their quarterback. But their quarterback is a person with actual experience that played at South Dakota State. And believe me, I watched the kid play. He's actually really good. But is he going to adapt like Brosmer right away? That's the thing. But Max also had better wide receivers than what this kid has at Iowa. So
And what I'll say
does
to
Iowa
that,
get their tight end type dominance back? That's the other thing.
because the thing with Iowa, Dave, is if they can run the football, they're very dangerous. Like, and I watch Iowa games fully expecting them. If Iowa holds you under, if Iowa gets to 21st, you can bet they're going to win that game, because their defense doesn't give up more than 17 points, especially when they play the Minnesotas, the Wisconsins, the Illinois, the Marylands. Now, obviously, when they play the big dogs, of course, but if we're talking about the middle of the pack and those type teams, if Iowa gets to 20, they're going to win that game. It's a foregone conclusion, because their defense just holds. That's what they do.
Oh, if they get up to the first 14, then they can easily hold. And if they take a 2-score lead, they can easily win the game.
Because I remember one year watching the Minnesota game, it was like 10-0 at the end of the first quarter, and then after that they didn't score again, but they still won the game like 10-7 or 10-6. And I'm like, how do they do this? Like, how do they win these games? And it's just what Iowa does.
Great defense, Great field position with a great punter and a kicker that was able to kick 55 to yard field goals.
It's ridiculous, Dave. They did it with Wisconsin where they won like 15-7, and I'm like, how do they only score 15 points and still win a game by comfortably by 8? Like, how do you do that?
Yeah,
Because
they win.
I know their
They win
defense.
in weird ways. Mostly it's turnovers and punt returns and everything else for their offense except for their actual offense. You know.
Well, when you all played them in that Cooper DeJean Phantom Flag game, no one I don't think scored a touchdown until what, the fourth quarter, if I'm remembering correct.
They scored a touchdown in the second half, and a touchdown we gave them. We had 5 stupid penalties
Okay.
that gave them a touchdown. We stopped them on 4th down and won, but Newman knocks the ball out of the quarterback's hands just to I don't know. They said that it was. They said it was unsportsmanlike after the play, so they gave him another fresh set of downs, and then it took him twice to get in on the 1-inch line.
Mhm.
And then we gave them a touchdown, and they stopped us and holded us to field goal tries every dang time, even with a good field position.
Mhm.
That's why we were able to win that game. And of course the Phantom, well, we have to remember that call was called as invalid fair catch call. Now you can argue about it until you're blue in the face. I don't know if it was the right call or the wrong call. It got called.
Mhm. Mhm.
It helped. We
And
won
here's
the
the thing,
game. And then
too.
also remember that Iowa also had like a minute and 30 seconds left, at least set up for a field goal at their own 45, and they failed to do it. So that's how bad their offense was back then.
And what I want to say too is that, Dave, and I'm sure you hear, but I hear Iowa fans all the time. They harp on that. They'll be like, if the refs would have kept that flag in their pocket, we would have been 11-1 and going to the Big Ten championship and a possible playoff berth. And they said it. And of course, the conspiracy with Iowa fans is you all rigged the game because you all needed to get into a bowl. That's
And we
what
didn't.
I hear, and I'm like, really? Out of all teams that the ref would rig a game for, I don't think Minnesota would be on the top of their list. No offense, Dave, but
Yeah.
Iowa fans drive me nuts.
Well, oh yeah. Well, Dave, anything else you got for us this afternoon, good buddy?
Well, it was nice talking college football with you guys, and
Oh boy.
hope to do it again. I can't wait for the regular season, guys. We can all predict what we think is going to happen, but when it comes down to it, it's going to be played on the field in a couple
Oh,
of
agreed.
weeks.
Mm-hmm.
Agreed.
Exactly, Dave. I'm looking forward to watching the Vikings too against the Bears on the opening Monday night. I'm looking forward to seeing what McCarthy's got in store for us, fresh
Yeah,
off
yeah.
the bench.
And I'm speaking a little bit about Vikings and Gophers. Max is probably now predicted to be the backup, the second string guy. He's worked up from basically they feel that he's worked up as to being the second best quarterback right now for the Vikes.
There you go. And Dave, like that's good too, because the Vikings they need some depth at quarterback. Their depth at quarterback, Lord have mercy. We can go on a whole nother topic about that.
Oh, there we
Oh
go.
yeah, believe me. Yeah, yeah. All right, guys. I'll talk to you guys later. See you guys later.
We'll
Bye.
see you later, Dave. And with that, we will be close. Here we go.
Yes, and I wouldn't put your finger up at you, Jackson. I would never do that because you would cuss me out. But anywho, but in all seriousness though. Hopefully y'all enjoyed our Big Ten predictions. I mean, it was fun getting to talk about it, especially with Minnesota Day. There was a lot of things we discussed, a lot of things we covered. But once again, thank you all for joining us. And that wraps up our predictions for the SEC, ACC, Big 12, Big 10. Go back in the archives, check them out if you missed any of them. And like I said, I've got Ohio State over Penn State. Jackson's thinking Oregon over Ohio State in his Big 10 title game. And we'll see who is right. Maybe neither one of us. Maybe neither one of us are right. Maybe it's Rutgers over Maryland in the Big 10 title game. I doubt it. Don't clip that, please. I'm just using that as an example. But in all seriousness, but it was fun. And me and Jackson, we're just getting started because in 2 weeks' time, well, actually, we'll be back before then because there's a certain poll coming out Monday that you all will want to hear about. And Troy, Jackson better not clip that. I'll fire him as the founding father. And in all seriousness, though. But I love Jackson. I would never do that to him. But there's a certain poll that comes out on Monday, which we'll get to once we promote. We might be live for that. But before we do that, though, there's one thing that we do know that we do need to check out. It's Alabama at the voice of college football. If you want to hear about the best analysis on Alabama football, there's only one place for it. And it's Alabama Voice College Football with Coach Smook Hines, Jackson, Jeffrey, Johnny, and all the special guests. They do watch parties, recruiting watch parties. They do primetime lives, call-ins, Crimson Tide live. Anything you want, they'll give it to you.
All of it.
And if you want them to talk to Nick Saban, you know what to do. Maybe slip them a couple hundreds, and they might be able to see if they can work out. Or maybe you want Derrick Henry or Mark Ingram. Or better yet, maybe they want the great Bear Bryant. I mean,
Bryant's dead. Maybe
well,
we can summon his ghost, but we'll wait and see.
But yes, but in all seriousness, though, Jackson, tell the lovely people what's on tap.
Yes, he does. Yes, he does, Steve. But you can check out Jeffrey, Johnny, and myself on Crimson Tide Live Monday nights at 6 p.m. Central Time, 7 p.m. Eastern Time. And you can check out Coach Smook and Friends on Alabama Primetime Live, Manny Wilson as well, Tuesday nights, 7 p.m. Eastern Time, 6 p.m. Central Time. And, of course, you can check out Jeffrey and myself on the Alabama Call-In Show on 9 p.m. Central Time, 10 p.m. Eastern Time as we take your calls, including last night's show, which was a wild ride. It was a lot of fun, but I can tell you it was a lot of fun filming that episode. And, of course, you can check out what I've got going on my personal YouTube channel, Jackson Johnson 979, where I'm 322 subs away from the magic number 1,000. I'll definitely need all the help I can get to 1,000 before the end of the year. But it's a fun ride tuning in with all of you as I collaborate with Sports Talk with Austin, Will and D, and Jeffrey at Only Talk Sports and Friends. And I've got numerous episodes of the Jacksonian. And for more updates on what I've got going on Alabama Boys College Football or the Jacksonian or my other ventures, check them out on Jackson VOCFB on /Twitter, Instagram, and Threads at Jackson Johnson 543908. And on Blue Sky at Jackson Johnson 97 Blue Sky Social, where my friend Mike Debate says where the skies are blue. Some say the skies are gray, and some say the skies are overcast. But I say to each their own. Check them out. Austin, what have you got going on in your world this week, man?
I got a little difference of everything's going on this week, Jackson. Of course, you find me here on my YouTube channel, Sports Talk with Austin 2002, and on my X/Twitter, where I talk a little bit of wrestling, college football, NFL. I'm excited for the Cowboys. We play the Eagles opening night when they drop the banner. I'm looking forward to that. But this has to do with me and Jackson. You can find it on either of our channels. The preseason top 25 AP poll comes out this Monday night, and me and Jackson will be going live either Monday night or Tuesday night. One of those two nights, We'll try to make
Well,
it
the
work.
AP poll releases at 11 a.m. Central Time at noon Eastern Time, but we'll be going over it later that day.
Yes, later that night. Yes, and it will be a caller-driven show. We want your thoughts, your comments, your concerns, and want your reactions to it. So check. Make sure to keep it touch because we'll be back Monday night, hopefully, for the preseason top 5, and we'll look over the coaches poll. We're getting it cooking. So me and Jackson will be back in 2 weeks' time. We will be back to normal schedule program with picks and analysis, and final whistle will be back where we will go over, pick our games, recap, look at everything, and we may even
We're still figuring other things out like timing and schedule and all that, but that's why you like, comment, subscribe, and click on the notification bells to each of our channels so you never miss their video or another episode whatsoever.
Yes.
There we go.
Exactly. And Troy B says Bear Bryant can't make it, but his hat can still coach the hell out of them kids. Exactly.
But with that being said, this is why you like, comment, subscribe, click on the notification bell to each of our channels so you never miss another video or another episode whatsoever. And with that being said, we wish you all a happy Friday night and a roll tide and a go Cards, everybody.